This is Seeking the Word. In this episode, the reading is from Genesis chapter 2, verses 4 through 25. The intent of this episode is to read the text carefully and attentively in order to understand what is present in the passage itself without teaching or preaching. Genesis chapter 2. This is the history of the generations of the heavens and of the earth, when they were created in the day that Yahweh God made the earth and the heavens. No plant of the field was yet in the earth, and no herb of the field had yet sprung up, for Yahweh God had not caused it to rain on the earth. There was not a man to till the ground, but a mist went up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground. Yahweh God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Yahweh God planted a garden east in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed out of the ground. Yahweh God made every tree to grow that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the middle of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. A river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it was parted and became 4 heads. The name of the first is Pishon. It flows through the whole land of Avila, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. Bdellium and onyx stone are there. The name of the second river is Gihon. The same flows through the whole land of Cush. The name of the third river is Kiddekel. This is the one which flows from Arisia. The fourth river is the Euphrates. Yahweh God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. Yahweh God commanded the man, saying, "You may freely eat of every tree of the garden, but you shall not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for in the day that you eat it, you will surely die." Yahweh God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him." Out of the ground Yahweh God formed every animal of the field and every bird of the sky, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. Whatever the man called them, every living creature, that was its name. The man gave names to all livestock, and to the birds of the sky, and to every animal of the field. But for man there was not found a helper comparable to him. Yahweh God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and he slept. He took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place. Yahweh God made the rib which he had taken from the man into a woman, and brought her to the man. The man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She will be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore a man will leave his father and his mother, and will join with his wife, and they will be one flesh." The man and his wife were both naked, and they were not ashamed. The passage begins by identifying itself as a history or account, shifting the focus from the heavens and the earth as a whole to the earth, and humanity in particular. The narrative moves from a condition where plants have not yet grown to the formation of man from the ground, emphasizing sequence and causation. The man is formed before the garden is described, and the garden is then prepared as a specific place into which the man is placed. 2 trees are singled out by name among all the trees in the garden, while the others are described more generally. The passage slows to describe geography, listing rivers by name, and tracing their flow outward from Eden. The role of the man is stated directly. He is placed in the garden to work and keep it. A command is given, including both permission and prohibition, with a stated consequence attached to disobedience. The text then introduces a lack. It is stated that it is not good for the man to be alone. Animals are formed and named in a sequence that highlights the absence of a suitable counterpart for the man. The creation of the woman is described differently from the creation of the man, involving sleep, removal, and formation. The passage ends with a spoken declaration by the man, followed by a general statement about union, and concludes with a condition of nakedness without shame. As I sit with the passage, what stands out first is the order in which things are introduced. The man appears before the garden is described, and the command comes only after both are in place. What I notice is that the text presents God as the creator, but also as one who establishes stewardship. The man is formed in order to work and keep what God has made. The reason for this is not explained. The text does not justify it or defend it. It simply presents stewardship as part of the arrangement. The garden itself is described as a place where provision is already present. Trees are good for food and pleasing to the sight. Water flows outward from the garden rather than being brought in. The setting feels complete and ordered, a place where the man is free to live without obvious struggle or scarcity. The text does not describe labor as burdensome here, only as responsibility. When the passage states that it is not good for the man to be alone, that language caught my attention because it interrupts the repeated pattern of goodness. I read this not as a moral failure, but as something incomplete. In that sense, good means optimal, everything present that is necessary for the creation to be what it was intended to be. Something essential is missing, even though nothing is broken yet. The process that follows, bringing animals to the man and naming them, makes the absence clear without stating it directly. The text allows the lack to be experienced before it is resolved. Only after that does the woman appear, created in a way that is distinct from everything that came before. The final image of the passage stays with me. The man and the woman naked and unashamed. That feels deliberate. It's not explained, but it is named. I hear it as a condition that belongs to this world, as it exists, at the end of the passage. At the same time, it feels like something that will matter later. The author draws attention to it in a way that suggests it's not incidental. I don't read it as a throwaway detail, but as something set in place that will eventually be contrasted with what follows. For now, the passage ends there, complete, ordered, and untroubled, without resolving why things are arranged this way, or what may come of it. That ends the reading for this episode. The next episode will continue with Genesis. This is Seeking the Word.